Hi, first graders. We've been working on moral of the story. Last week we read a couple different books. Today we're going to read Mr. Wrinkles. Okay? As we're reading Mr. Wrinkles, I want you to think about what you already know about the characters, the setting, and the moral of the story. Mr. Wrinkles was an elephant, and not just any elephant. He was the oldest, wisest elephant in all of Africa. He knew the names of all the other animals for miles around because, let's not forget, an elephant never forgets. So I'm already starting to think about what I know about this character. I know that he is in Africa because that's what it said the setting was, Africa. And it says that he remembers everyone's names and he has a really good memory. So those are things that I already know about the character. I also know that he's an elephant. I know that because it says it in the text, the words, that's the text. And I can see in the picture. We can use pictures to help us know more about the characters and the setting. Mr. Wrinkles made the same long journey out to the water hole each day. He spoke to all the brightly colored birds that told him about the things they had seen on their travels. They told him about the lions out on the plain and the crocodiles that were making a nuisance of themselves in the river again. So he was friendly. That's what we can infer. He was friendly. He spoke to the giraffes that were already munching on their breakfast. It was their favorite, acai leaves. They told him about the morning before the sun had risen and were kind enough to share some of their leaves with him. Mr. Wrinkles enjoyed having his breakfast at the water hole very much, but he could not stay long. He had to walk a long way to see his friend, Mr. Cheetah. On his way, Mr. Wrinkles felt the ground move beneath him, and before he knew it, he was stuck in a big hole. Being wise, he did not panic. He knew that there must be a way out. He just had to think. He had a long look around to see who was there and moved his legs a little. The hole was deep and cold and came up to his middle. After a few minutes, he decided to call out for help. "Help me," he shouted. "I am stuck in a hole and I cannot move." He wiggled some more and until finally he decided to stop and wait for someone to arrive. Very soon a tiny head appeared. It was a meerkat named Eddie. "Hello, Mr. Wrinkles. I was just out playing with my brothers and sisters and thought I heard something. Do you need a hand?" "I do, my friend. Could you help me get out of this hole, please?" So Mr. Wrinkles has a problem. His problem is that he's stuck in a hole. Just then another tiny head appeared, and then another and another until he was completely surrounded by meerkats. Mr. Wrinkles knew all their names but could not say hello to everyone. It would take far too long. "Hello, everyone," he said. "Please, could you help me? I am stuck." "But how can we help you? You are so big and we are so small," someone said. "Don't you worry," Eddie said. "I have an idea. There are lots of us. We will find someone to get you out of there." Right, so they have a plan for a solution. Eddie and all his brothers and sisters began to spread out in search of help. It was not long before they found 3 giraffes called Spot, Speckle, and Freckle, who were more than happy to help their old friend. The giraffes with their long necks each pulled a branch down from a nearby tree and told Mr. Wrinkles to hold on tight. He wrapped his trunk around the long branches, and with a heave and a roar, he pulled as hard as he could. But he moved just a little. They stopped to rest because it was a very hot day. As they tried to decide what to do, 100 birds of all different colors flew down from the bright sky to sit on his back. They flapped their wings with all their might to try to lift him, while he pulled again with his long trunk and moved a little bit more. So the animals are working together. They're helping him a little bit at a time. A few hours later, as Mr. Wrinkles was thinking he would never get out, a big wildebeest called Clive with long pointy horns found the group. "Hello, Mr. Wrinkles. I heard a hornbill saying that you were stuck. Can I offer you my assistance?" "Oh, yes, please, Clive. I would appreciate it very much." Clive stood behind Mr. Wrinkles, and together they flapped and pulled and cheered and pushed until, with a shout and a roar, Mr. Wrinkles climbed out of the hole. "Thank you very much, my friends," he said. "You are all very special to me. I would not have been able to get out of that hole without each and every one of you working together as a team." He looked at all the animals gathered around him and smiled. "My meerkat friends, even though you are small, there are many of you, and your voices spread the word of my problem far and wide. Spot, Speckle, and Freckle, your long necks helped reach the highest branches for me to hold on to. My bird friends, even though you are not very strong, together your wings are stronger than the strongest lion. And finally, Clive, my good wildebeest friend, you are fast and strong. Thank you, everyone, for being such good friends. Even though all of you are different, you are all very special indeed. This is a day I will never forget." Mr. Wrinkles celebrated that evening with all his friends and thanked them and promised that he would always be there if they ever fell into a hole. Okay, so in this story, the main character is Mr. Wrinkles, and then all of the other animals are also characters, and they work to try to help him. His problem is that he gets stuck in that hole, and the solution is that they work together to try to get him out. Mr. Wrinkles learned in this story that when people work together, they can accomplish anything. Even though the animals that helped him were small, they were able to accomplish great big things because they worked together. So because that's what our character learned in the story, that's the moral of the story. That's what the story is trying to teach us as readers. Okay, make sure that you watch the next video so that you know what to do today.